Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 31 of the Steel City Commuters podcast. I am your host, Austin Cairns, joined here alongside Nicholas Brown, back on Zoom, unfortunately. It's been about 3 weeks we were in person, but it's actually the first time we've done Steel City in about 3 weeks because we vaulted a bunch of episodes due to both of us going on our respected vacations. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all of our special guests. And we have some other sports news to cover in today's episode. It's going to be jam-packed. It's 40 minutes of fun here on Zoom. Before we get into that, though, my good friend, Nicholas Brown, it's good to see you. I love the shades. Where'd you get those shades from?
I actually got them at the Pirate game when I went a few weeks ago for firework night. They were handing them out as free vouchers along with a $1 fast play lottery ticket somewhere in the bag. I don't know, but these have been a new part of the addition here.
Okay. They add very well to the apparel. The black collared shirt, the shades, the LED lights. It's a nice fit.
Chicken of the sea, as they say, is always the most important part.
Okay, I love to see it. Love to see it. Oh man, but what a great couple of weeks it's been on Steel City Commuters. I mean, even though we both were on vacations, the summer of grind does continue. We vaulted a bunch of episodes. We continued our commitment of posting every single Wednesday of a brand new episode, occasionally some bonus episodes here or there as well. And the last 3 weeks were great. So let's go backwards. We're going to go back from episode 30 all the way back in the one when we last met. And last week was probably the most chaotic out of all of those. We were in the media hub and we played Truth or Dare. The first time we ever really did a game show in person. What'd you think about that episode, Nick?
It was crazy. The promo, I think, or your headshot for the video on YouTube literally has you right in front of the camera and me in the background taking like just absorbing it all in. I think that was a good cliffhanger to bring the people in. Truth or Dare was very fun. We didn't get into it very harshly. There were some family members that actually were, after the episode come out and listen to it, were like telling me, you could have done this way more interesting. You could have punished Austin way more hard. I'm thinking, well, it didn't really hit to me because we were in the moment. We didn't really plan the episode. And it was just so fun because we had literally dauber on each other. I was in the middle of the episode trying to get the dauber off. It was hilarious. We definitely will be doing Truth or Dare, and I think it would be even funny to bring in all of the honorary Jagoffs from Two Jagoffs over to Still City to do Truth or Dare to make it even more interesting to spice things up.
Media hub might not be big enough to contain all of us.
Well, you at least. I don't know. Everybody else can be contained.
Okay. Okay. I see how it is. But no, Truth or Dare was fun. It did very well view wise, which I was pretty surprised by. I thought it was going to kind of take a tank after we had three straight episodes of guests, but it actually did surprisingly well, actually better than some of the guests that we had on. So shout out to Truth or Dare. I love the thumbnail for the video. It's incredible. But the episode before that was also a banger. It was actually the longest episode in Steel City Commuters history. An hour and 45 minutes of me, you, and good old Matt Palangi. Matt Palangi joined us. He was a guest on Two Jagoffs before. He will be a guest again down the line on Two Jagoffs. And he made his Steel City Commuters debut talking Point Park, U-View, giving some advice. He had a little quarterback list that was absolutely awful, by the way. Love you to death, Matt Palangi, but your list was awful. And
No,
then
it was
we,
not. Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We just can't
no, no,
spill
no,
the
it
hate
was
right there.
awful.
We
It was
just can't
awful.
spill the hate, and we're just not going at it like that against my boy Matt. There's no way that is not acceptable. I'm shutting you down like I would do to Donald Trump, to any politician that's bashing here.
Oh,
No,
whoa, whoa,
Matt,
time out. You're comparing me to the president? What the hell?
with all these lies that you're stating within the first 5 minutes of this damn recording.
All right, well, you guys are Cowboys fans. That's what I was going to get to. You guys
And
were
you're a
blasting
Cardinals
your.
fan.
Okay, and I accept that we suck, but you're over here talking about the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Even Matt Palangi, Matt P himself said they're not
He was
going
hesitant. I don't want to say he confirmed it.
because he knows.
He was
He
hesitant. But also,
knows.
you not only have a Cowboys hat, but I also have a picture of you in a Cowboys hat if we ever need to share that.
Look, right here. There it is,
That's
Cowboys.
one. But then don't you remember your Instagram files? There is a photo with you having a Cowboys hat on.
That's AI.
It's still accepting in today's reality. But no, Matt was a great guest. He provided so much great insight. He loved the bickering that, of course, I have started with you because you don't get that bickering anywhere else, and it's like dinner and a show. In my words, Matt was great. Expanded a lot about his history, his Cowboys, the Steelers, and even what he has done as a Point Park student. He is so busy. He's like us, has a wonderful life plan. He's so busy calling basketball and just providing the color commentary. And just Matt's amazing and can't wait to have him back on as football season will be gearing up as preseason actually starts very soon, actually.
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, after this episode is posted. If you
Yes.
really think about it, Thursday, August 7th. I will say this about Matt as well. Great episode. Love the chemistry that we had. Matt's my boy. I talked to him actually off camera a little bit ago, a couple days ago on the phone, and he's he's one of my favorites from Point Park, easily, hands down to earth guy. I guess he's okay for a Cowboys fan if we really want to go that far. But in all seriousness, the episode was a fun one. I highly recommend you listen to it. The banter that me and you had in that one was arguably my favorite because it caught Matt so off guard at times where you broke Matt Palangi. You broke him.
I break a lot of guests. I even broke Barney Ankney.
Which, well, speak of the devil, it's funny you say that. Episode 28 was right before it. The first ever Steel City Commuters crossover. We have another one coming up in about a couple weeks or so. But Bernie Ankney, the Dean of Communications at Point Park, joined us on Steel City and two Jagoffs. What do you think of that episode? I know we briefly talked about it on my YouTube channel for two Jagoffs' sake, but kind of changing gears to the Steel City sake.
Bernie provided a lot of great insight into his history. He was his former own reporter, owner of a magazine, like newspaper style, that eventually led to kind of him heading back into teaching, and eventually, from all of the different careers, he's officially landed at Point Park. He's been with Point Park, I think, since about 2020, I think, a dean for a few years now, if I'm not mistaken. Bernie oversees the School of Com. Very good, not only in profess and teaching, but also helping behind the scenes, working with connections, building your networking, helping you with whatever that needs to be done in this environment. You need the connections. Bernie has them, not with just people around Point Park, but also TV personnel in our industry. And Bernie provided a lot of great insight and knowledge and tips into the industry today that is going to help us quite significantly in our career. That was a great crossover, and that's not only going to be the last crossover, as we have many more planned in the future.
I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but I will say this. I think the Bernie interview was great and it could definitely be expanded on, which is why I love having him on before we have our next special guest. Because the next guest that we're going to have on Steel City and Two Jagoffs crossover, it's going to be explosive. But Bernie's great. Love him to death. I know some people maybe had a hard time following with some parts of the episode just because, again, it was mine and your first time ever really doing a co-interview rather than just having a guest on. Because before that was my dad, Lucas, and Kevin. We have all met them several times. I mean, one of them I quite literally live with, and the other two I've known since I was a kid. So it was pretty easy bringing them on the episode. Bernie's the dean of communications. Now, obviously, me and you are pretty close with our dean compared to some other students and professors and deans at other colleges, but still being able to bring on a dean and having a rising senior and a rising sophomore on, there's a big age gap there. There's a big age difference. So you get a lot of different levels in that episode. It's an hour and 5 minutes, but it's definitely worth the listen.
We may need podcasting on the floor directors when we're recording to give us hand signals because both of us are trying to figure out that momentum, especially in seating, because we like the Media Hub. And if anybody doesn't know, we're currently on Zoom, but when we're in person together, we film in the Media Hub. It is a very nice space, very high tech, camera quality, microphone quality, sound quality, everything's great. It's just after a while, you do get very old of the same seating, of the same, like, where do you want to sit? How do you want to conduct this interview? Like, do you want a new format? And Truth or Dare, and even your interview with Bryn Reese within this past weekend kind of showed that we're starting to kind of explore different camera different qualities, different atmospheric, zoom in, zoom out. And I just think that once you get to the Media Hub, you just once you find your niche and once you find where you want to kind of fit in is where it's all going to be. Because eventually, when we have a big special on two Jagoffs, we're going to have to all be in that Media Hub, and we're all going to have to eventually need the room. That we're going to need a bigger space, and we're like limited. So if anybody wants to donate, sure, we can really start building out and start building our own podcast HQ in the city of Pittsburgh. We can rent something out, but once you get into the Media Hub, it's just like, how do you want to position guests? You kind of have to make sure the height fits, decorating tables and just everything all together. It's just very hard to kind of do a back and forth interview when the guest is in the middle and we're on each side, kind of trying to figure out conversation length, breath length, when to rotate, and just all the above.
Poor Cannon Jones Jr. and Naz Fisher. Oh, poor. Those two guys they're tall and they had a hard time sitting in those chairs and like, because the tables are small and they're both what, like 6'5", 6'6"?
And you're 5'7", 5'8", same with
I'm
us.
5'9", damn it.
Oh,
I'm 5'9".
I was a little,
Don't be spreading fake news like that. I'm 5'9".
because you're probably rounding up.
No, I'm actually 5'9". I just had my checkup. I'm 5'9".
You sure that you haven't shrunk within the past 24, 48
I,
hours?
I would hope not.
I don't know. You're getting older by the minute.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, we did have one more guest that came on. We got to go back all the ways a couple weeks ago for this one. 2 weeks ago specifically, my dad was on for episode 27. This was the most recent episode we have not talked about because the week before was obviously discussing our upcoming vacation and the Pirates, which is exactly what we're going to be doing today. But what do you think of the episode of my dad coming on? I think we briefly talked about it a little bit on the Bernie interview, but we really didn't go into too much detail on it.
He provided a lot of great insight given his role as a Teamsters Union president, given all the contract negotiations that's going on, the current political landscape, and then, of course, his thoughts on sports, because that's where his expertise really is going to come in handy, especially and this is me and you disagree with him a lot. Even you and your dad were starting to go a little bit back and forth with the episode
We always do.
because he has a lot of great insight into the football and even baseball career. I'm even coming to you with a different angle and flat right out as a Cowboys fan. And you as a Cardinals fan, you've had a lot of broken heart moments, especially when the Steelers won, you know, in that Cardinals victory. In the Steelers victory, that was the best, especially when we were at Papa Allen's Pizza. And I said, look, there's your memory right there. Brought back some great memories. I enjoyed that personal episode because it was a good connection with your dad. We even agreed, talk sports, Cowboys fan, even he didn't want to roll out a whole episode of saying, the Cowboys are starting to rise up. There's a lot of players. But now that Micah Parsons wants a trade, we might be in a little bit of a trouble. I do not know why you're sighing because, of course, if I'm talking, everybody's going to listen.
Are you trying to get under my skin already?
I'm supposed to. That's my role as a co-host here and even on Two Jagoffs. And I do
Why
it
are we
very well.
talking about the 2009 Super Bowl? That is irrelevant. It's
No,
irrelevant.
no, it is not. Nothing is irrelevant. You should never rule anything out. It all makes sense and it all puts together a storyline. And the storyline is Cardinals suck, Cowboys win, Cowboys are the best, and we're very excited. Even your dad didn't want to roll out a 2025, 2026 Super Bowl victory of the Cowboys.
You see this hair right here? I'm getting a haircut after this Zoom call. I'll
Okay.
shave it all off if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. You know that.
95% chance that they go to the Super Bowl and they win.
95? Where are you
according,
getting those odds from?
that's according to my probability, and my probability is
Who the
always the
hell's
best.
doing your arithmetic? 95? Hell no. 95?
95.
Oh my God, what kind of math are they teaching you in New Kensington?
Some even up
95?
some even up it to 99% too.
You're high. I don't. What are you on? What are you smoking? Are you sure you weren't smoking with the dope heads down in the city? What are you smoking?
I'm not smoking anything. I'm just using some background knowledge, some forward projections, and some Nick Brown math. And Nick Brown math's always the best. You even know that.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, well, to give my final thoughts, I guess, or my first thoughts, I should say, on my dad coming on. I love my dad. Obviously, he's my dad. I really have nothing negative to say about him at all. But I will say this to you: the episode was easily the best episode in Steel City history based off of views, which I thought was crazy based off of, because I actually have it right. I'm pulled up right next to them on my other computer. Uh, I thought the 1v1 or our first episode would be the best.
Oh, let's
My
talk about
dad,
those memories. So that 1v1 was off the hook, but
I
but
won by the way,
but
but
also
my
you
dad.
lost too to 1v1, so we're a little bit even there.
No, we're not. I won all three games. But my dad's episode is actually number one, and right behind it is the New York episode. So maybe some foreshadowing into
Ooh,
the future. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We can't really say anything, but
New York.
uh,
I remember them days like the back of my head.
I don't.
Oh, we know. I think we know that. I think Kyle Archer can vouch for that. Andy Conti, Cassandra Harris, Ryan Quinn. There's a lot of New Yorkers that can vouch for that.
Shout out to Kyle. I just saw Kyle recently. But Yeah, no, my dad's episode was great. Steel City has been on a roll. We have a lot of guests planning on coming up, some from Two Jagoffs, some never even made appearances on any of our programs before. So it's going to be nice having a versatile group of individuals joining us, sharing their story, talking some sports, talking some politics, talking their careers. But let's transition now into something real quick. We're just going to do a quick little recap on this because we do have a lot of sports news to get into, specifically around the Pirates, since the last time we talked about them. And that's our vacations. You were gone for a while. I was gone for a while. Tell us about your trip, Nick.
Yeah, we didn't talk for, I don't know, you went away first and then our trips kind of overlapped into each other. I think when you were coming back, I was literally getting ready to leave the next day and we didn't really talk for over a week. I had the opportunity to go to Chapin, South Carolina for a few days, and then from Chapin, South Carolina, to head down to Destin, Florida. Um, and it was a great trip. Gone for a week and a half. Honestly, I'm ready for another trip to get away before school starts. I really want to do Ocean City. I'm just all tripped out. I had
Ocean City, Maryland, or Ocean City, New Jersey?
both, whatever.
Maryland's beautiful. I was there in 2019. I don't mean to cut you off, but I was
No,
there for family trip. One of my favorites.
honestly, I had the opportunity to go to the Poconos this weekend too. It declined because back-to-back trips, I was already tired and traveling just catch ups to me easily. Weather was great. We did a Destin dolphin cruise. Let me just say we were out in the Gulf. I was worried. There was perfect weather. I was just worried I was going to fall off the damn boat because there was a lot of waves. I was praying to Jesus get me back to shore. Weather was iffy. I honestly would rather do the dolphin cruise when there was no other boats. I'd rather do it in the middle of midnight hours. Honestly, it was a great trip. It was a great cruise. I'm just not out in the middle of the ocean. I'm just not that's just not my area. My
You're
area
not
is
out.
no.
You're a land guy.
I'm a land guy. Nice pool, nice ocean, nice sand, nice bay. I'm on the ground. I'm not in the middle of the water.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't fall off the boat. I'm glad you made it back home safe and sound.
Because if I fell off the boat, I wouldn't be here today. You would have to find a new co-host. And as there's a lot of front runners here, but of course, none of us are resigning. So all the front runners have been pushed.
Yeah, they've been axed.
Yes.
They've been axed. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your vacation. I also did. We went to Erie for a week, Splash Lagoon for a night. Then we went over to Cobblestone Hotel. We went to Prescott Isle for a day, Waldemere for a day. And then we kind of did a day of just exploring, going around, sightseeing. Went to a lighthouse or two. And it was a fun trip. We did Erie last year, so it was really nothing new outside of a couple of new restaurants. It was pretty much the same stuff we did last year, but it was still a nice getaway and a nice mental health reset, especially with how busy and crazy I've been. Don't get me wrong. My promos were still up on time. My episodes were still up on time as well. So I was still making sure the summer of grind was continuing. But I did kind of clock off the computer for a while. I try to stay away from social media. I try to stay away from emails and schoolwork and just the overall vibe of Pittsburgh. I wanted to completely avoid it and try and do my own thing. And I feel like I did a good job. It was nice spending time with the sister and the family, both my parents. And then we came home, and originally we were supposed to go to camp that same weekend, but I ended up actually working a wiffle ball tournament where I got the call and do play-by-play up in North Strabane Park I called 4 games, and I was director for 3. So I actually got paid for it for both days. I got to work with the championship team. I got to do the semifinals game, and I got to do the quarterfinals. So it was a pretty cool opportunity. Oh, excuse me, pretty cool opportunity. And over the last couple of weeks, I've also been finally starting my new gig with 880 Wrestling as their new commentator. I've officially made my debut on the commentary team. I will be there again tomorrow night, Thursday night fights, 880 Wrestling on YouTube, indiewrestling.us. You can find me there. I'll be your play-by-play guy. And I'm still doing stuff with IWC, of course, because IWC is my home. Love IWC to death. Very busy summer. Really is the summer of grind. Gonna turn into the autumn of opportunities, but for right now, it's just a whole hell of a lot of work.
Two Jagoffs took over Splash Lagoon in one of the promos. I was very excited to see that. Splash Lagoon is a good favorite of mine, especially if you stay at the hotel. You get in an hour early before everybody else the next day.
That's sick.
What was the Two Jagoffs takeover of Splash Lagoon? Anybody question if a film was happening? I'd be excited to see some recording content in the middle of upstairs and as you're looking down over the balcony into the hot tub and into the waterfall bucket and all that fun stuff.
Well, I was disappointed with the Splash Lagoon promo because you know this off camera, but a lot of people don't know. I actually had the same phone since 2019. Literally, as of yesterday of this recording, I finally got a brand new cell phone. I got a Samsung Galaxy 25, which I is long, long overdue. I needed a new phone. The volume button was broke, the power button was broke, the screen was shattered. Do I have the old phone? Yes, I do actually. This was the old phone that I was rocking with for the longest time. This is the new one. So we finally have a new phone, and the camera quality on that one sucks. So Splash Lagoon already being inside with terrible lighting on top of my outdated 6-year-old phone was not the best combo for a promo. So the promo didn't look as good as I thought it would, but no one really questioned on like the whole film day. It was kind of me just going around getting quick B-roll of all different places of Splash Lagoon, and then me and my dad just cut a promo up top, which in all honesty I thought was really cool because we did a whole bunch of other stuff. We went on water slides, and there was some extra clips that I didn't even actually put in that promo. But I just kind of, it was just fun going around, having my mom and sister record me, and my dad do a bunch of dumb stuff on the water slides. It was a good time. I'm hoping to do more stuff like that when I do travel and go on vacations. I'm hoping to get more promos. Now that I got a good phone, I can definitely do it anywhere, and not have to worry about Lucas being there. So we're hoping to get more promos down the line, especially at IWC, because the wrestlers are there and
And
they're willing to
pickles.
help. Why pickles? Why did they bring up pickles?
Because that's your expertise. You're a pickles expert now, especially that you've had the opportunity to taste them. You can kind of give us all things pickles brought to you by Austin Carnes.
Okay, here's my pickle take. Are you ready? They suck. They still stink. They're awful. And screw you, Andrew Palace, for making me eat them.
Well, I don't want to gloat anybody, but I pickles, it's part of it. Permane sandwich pickles.
No, no. I take the pickle off.
Well, Pittsburghers are really going to come for you. And I think Palace is going to be one to come for you.
Oh, I'm not scared of none of those wrestlers. Palace making me eat pickles. You see what Gannon Jones Jr. did to my head?
It was warranted because you were picking on new management, specifically Lucas Coons. And whenever you mess with new management, there's always somebody watching and there's always someone to defend us.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was simply just thanking him for coming on the episode. Best dressed guest ever in two Jagoffs,
Yes.
by the way. Let me just add that real quick. That suit
Suit and
was
everything in the middle of 90-degree days.
I know. Shout out to Gannon Jones Jr. for that, but screw you, Gannon Jones Jr. for grabbing me by my head and headbutting me into the next week. How dare he? How dare he do that?
No, how dare you talk bad about new management and Lucas Coons?
Well, that was warranted. But no, in
No.
all seriousness, shout out to the wrestlers. Love the promos. Very happy that they come on and do the fun little skits like that. We'll definitely be doing more with the wrestling community very soon. But yeah, it was a crazy week. I mean, not only am I doing all that stuff, Nick, with the vacations, the wiffle ball, and the wrestling stuff, just working at Friendly Paws. I mean, I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary there. And I realized that in a couple of weeks, it's going to be 3-year anniversary of two Jagoffs. Two Jagoffs 3-year anniversary is coming up already.
Time has flown by. My God.
3 years of two Jagoffs.
So you launched back in 22. So
Hmm.
during the midst of the pandemic, really, is that's when
Yeah,
podcasting started to become the new daily living because, really couldn't go out. You had to listen to music. And that's when the podcasting really started to become a new form of daily news, of part of the daily life. That's a big memorable. And Still City will be turning 1 in December this year
it
already.
will. We gotta get a cake. Happy birthday, two Jagoffs.
Happy birthday to Jagoffs. Happy birthday, Still City. Happy
What do you
birthday
think
to
the lady
everybody.
at Shop and Save is gonna say when I go up there and say, "Hey, can you write happy birthday two Jagoffs on this cake for me?"
She's gonna look very confused and say, "What the hell is two Jagoffs?"
I would be like, "It's for my two Jagoffs. It's their birthday."
Happy birthday. I
Oh,
think we need a party. I think we need a
do we throw a
special.
two Jagoffs party?
Yes.
We're throwing a two Jagoffs party. Damn it, let's go.
I say we not only throw a party, but we also do a memorable episode that day.
Well, don't worry. I have something big planned for the 3-year anniversary. Don't you worry.
Oh, wow. I'll be on the sidelines watching.
Well, speaking of being on the sidelines, let's talk about some sports now. And let's talk about a team that's been on the sidelines since the beginning of spring
And
training.
this is when depression starts.
I've had depression just thinking about this for the last 5 minutes. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, going back 3 weeks ago, when the last time we were on Zoom for episode 26, the title of that episode was discussing our upcoming vacations and the Pirates. We talked about how excited we were to get out of town, get that break, get that reset, and come back better than ever. And at the time, if I can recall, we were a little upset with the way the Pirates were being run. Fast forward 3 weeks later, we have now gotten rid of David Bednar to the New York Yankees. A pitcher to the Mariners, some other pitching prospects here or there have been traded, and Key Brian Hayes is now a part of the Cincinnati Reds. Thoughts, Nick?
This team continues to go downhill. General manager Ben Cherington, there's just no words to describe it. It is very frustrating to see where this team has come. I don't even think they're going to break 500 this year. And that's sad to say. When they gave up, I think it was Friday night, they gave up a 9-0-9-1 lead. And to end up losing 17-16, that's embarrassing. Now, I'm going to say I'm going to blame it. Here we go, because here's where the blame game starts. I blame, and here comes Austin Cairns.
Don't say it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean blame game? What
This
do you
is
mean
what
blame game?
happens in every season, in every sport. You place the blame on someone, and Austin is right there, and we'll try and defend them, and we'll say they have no part of it. That's not how it works. Yes, you, damn it. When you blame a team, it falls on everybody. Everybody has a piece of it. Head coach, manager, GM, owner, players, this staffing, anybody in the whole league. It falls on them. Because if you remember back in high school and in elementary, you work as a team, and that still happens in major leagues. When you don't work as a team, when your general manager can't hire or trade sufficient players to bring in a new beginning, it falls on head coach, because when you're a head coach and you don't have anybody to work with, it really doesn't fall on you, but it really does, because you're taught that you have to work with what you got. In this case, the Pirates are just crumbling. And when I say crumbling, we're trading away key players. Key Brian Hayes, the list continues. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Skeens is gone with after his contract is up. Wouldn't be surprised if Andrew McCutchen, leaves before he retires. We're at this point that I don't even know how 28,000 to 30,000 fans want to even go and support this team. I was there for one game and was very disappointed. I'll be there at the end of September with Point Park, and I probably will be disappointed again. This team is literally crumbling from the GM to head coach to staffing to players. It's embarrassing to watch. I don't even turn on the TV when they're on anymore, because it's literally depression. Honestly, it's depression.
I had the chance to shadow Greg Brown and actually be at a Pirates game. It was a couple weeks ago, and I got to pretty much have an exclusive look at behind the scenes of how the Pittsburgh Pirates are run. I was there for warm-ups. I was there in the press room. I was there with coaches. I was there with personnel. I was there with legends. I had the chance to listen in and sit in and see how the Pittsburgh Pirates were being run. And I'm here to tell you right now, it is a disaster. To blame Don Kelly, though, is crazy. Don Kelly is not at fault here. For certain decisions at times, yes, but fireable decisions, absolutely not. He is working with the best that he can right now. He has literally been giving a horrible hand. It's like playing a game of cards. You've been dealt a bad hand. That's what Don Kelly has been dealt with, and he's trying to make the best of it.
And who do you
Now,
blame? In that case, who do you blame then?
well, you didn't say who you blamed, though. You said you blamed everybody. And I'm agreeing with you. I'm blaming everybody, but I'm not going to blame just Don Kelly for the reason why they're losing games. I do want to go back to that Rockies game. How the hell do you give up 9-1 in the first inning? 9-1? They kept attacking the third baseline that entire game. It would have been nice if you had a solid third baseman, right? Oh, wait, you traded his ass away 2 days ago to the Reds. Oh, and then not only that, they had an awful time closing out that game. Not only were they up 9-1, they were also up 15-6 at one point. Nick, do I need to remind you what the final score was? 17-16 Rockies. They couldn't close off the game. Wonder why? Because you sent your closing pitcher to the Yankees. David Bednar's gone too. The Pittsburgh Pirates screwed themselves. So Ben Cherington is the main guy to be at fault here for all this. If you want a number one suspect, Scooby-Doo unmask who's the villain, it's Ben Cherington. That is the one who is to be blamed. But Bob Nutting still needs to sell his team. Don Kelly needs to keep his attitude under control and be able to manage his players a little bit better. And the team chemistry needs to be on point. O'Neal Cruz, Andrew McCutchen, and Brian Reynolds can't be the only three players on this team. Other players need to step up. I need to see more of Spencer Horwitz. I need to see more of Tommy Pham. I need to see more of Joey Bart. I need to see more of Triolo. I need to see more of Gonzalez. I need to see more of Skeens. I need to see more of these players. These players need to step up, and they need to step up now. The season's over. It's been over since March, but
And
this
who does
loss
that
right
fall
here,
on? Who does that fall on? It falls on coaching staff.
no, it does not fall on coaching staff. It falls on management. It falls purely on management because, again, whenever you're a head coach and you're being attacked at the third base line, which player do you need to substitute out for that? Your third baseman. You can't do that because management traded away your best third baseman. That's not on the coach. The coach is playing with the cards that's been dealt to him.
And he has to adjust, and he didn't adjust. And we've seen that multiple times. When you have a pitcher, and it happened
No,
Friday.
no,
Yes, it
no.
happened Friday night when as I was at the game. They gave up already too many runs, and it was too late before they started pulling the pitcher. They pulled him way too late, and all of a sudden there's Don Kelly trying to pull the Don Kelly Pirates move, and is substituting 3 or 4 pitchers real quick to see that he's on top of his A game. That also is another disappointing. We have the Bob Nutting fan sell the team that has started from the beginning of the season, and that has continued all the way till now. It falls on the whole coaching and management staff. It is a disgrace. I don't even want to go to a Pirates game at this point because when you give up nine and you're ahead 9, how do you lose at the beginning? And we're getting the softball questions. It's ridiculous. It's
Well,
just
I have the answers for you. It's because they traded away their key players. Listen, I'm telling you right now, if David Bednar and Key Brian Hayes was still on this team, they would have not lost that game. There was no way in hell they lose that game.
well,
Because guess
I don't
what?
know about that. Let's not get into. I don't want to get into that of
What do
it
you mean?
because
Okay, fine. Let's break that. Did you watch the Rockies game? Let me ask you a serious question. Because I watched that full game. Did you watch it?
I did, but in general,
Okay, so let's
when
break this down. Let's look at the fifth
well,
inning,
in
for
general,
example.
Austin, whenever they're ahead, they start to slip up real quick. Like
Well,
it's a common theme here.
it is. And again, they don't have a closer right now. So, bottom of the fifth inning, they gave up 4 runs. 3 out of those 4 runs was where? You watched
Third
the game,
base.
right? Third
Yeah.
base line. Okay, so they gave up those 4 runs there. Then the run at the top of the sixth inning. I mean, like, come on. Like, you need to be able to have your defensive players. I get Key Brian Hayes was awful at bat this year, but the Pirates showed in this game they were just fine without him at bats. But in terms of defense, you got to improve on that. That's also on management. If you're going to go out there and trade away players, why are you not bringing players in return to help out your team? All you got back was three prospects and a shortstop. You're telling me the shortstop and the 3 prospects is going to replace your best third baseman, your best closing pitcher, and 2 up and comers? Come on, Ben Sherrington, come on.
But what do you do in that situation on a Friday night when you're already down? Why substitute a pitcher? It's already too late. It's not going to make a difference. Why put in 2 or 3, 4 other pitchers? Come on. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It real
In terms of management and head coaching to all the to the bowl to the it's just, come on.
That just shows you the Pittsburgh Pirates is just a never-ending migraine. That's the
From
best way to.
management to players to the whole organization. And the reporters continue to throw softball questions like no other. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't even watch the after presser. I don't watch pregame. I don't watch it because they're softball questions. And even to the point where some of the announcers are even confused of what's going on because they would be like, I'd do something differently. But again, you can't really step up in some organizations to call out management because your ass would get axed.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with the way you say stuff nowadays, which is sad. But no, the Pirates, man, I mean, I'm telling you right now, they're 47 and 63. They're nowhere near playoff contention. They're nowhere near breaking 500. It's just going to be an ongoing cycle of misery. That is the best way to sum up the Pirates.
Yeah, when you're 49 and 64, that just goes to show how the organization is run and that the overall skepticism of how next season is going to unveil and the seasons after that really show not much has changed because this record has kind of been showing that for quite some time. And Bob Nutting continues to say, "Oh, we're going to make changes," and GM kind of continues to say, we're in the hunt." But again, that's not real. Like that's just being soft. That's being Mr. Softy in this case because this has been brought to your attention multiple times, year after year, and nothing has been done about it.
Exactly. Nothing has been done. I want to end off today's episode with just one piece of NFL news that I found this past week, and I thought it was pretty interesting. You mentioned part of it earlier. The Micah Parsons requested a trade from the Dallas Cowboys, and Terry McLaurin, division rival, requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. Just quick thoughts on both of those requests. What are you looking at now with both these teams? Both of these teams are playoff contending teams, and two of their arguably best players now gone. What the hell's going on?
It is troubling that Micah has pulled this, but he released a long essay, note, whatever the hell you want to call it, on X, Twitter, saying that he wanted to meet with the Dallas organization and nobody really wanted to meet. So that's when Jerry Jones, the owner, wanted to step in and start making negotiations and start talking. And he just kind of was on the sideline of this. And Micah said, at this point, I don't want to really want to play for this team anymore. And that's bringing up a lot of questions. Will he want to get traded? Will the uh, Cowboys want to release Micah? He's a big part of this team. And so if they end up losing Micah, this raises a lot of questions of who you're going to get. Where does Micah go if he does get traded? Some have even called that he goes to the Eagles. And if that is being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Eagles win another Super Bowl back to back.
Yeah, no, easily. Eagles would definitely be locked in for contention there. And again, this falls on Jerry Jones. I mean, it's Jerry's world and we're all living in it. Until Jerry Jones can figure out his management within his team and how he runs the organization, players like Micah Parsons will get deserved contracts and players like Dak Prescott will not get undeserved contracts. But the biggest storyline here for me is actually Terry McLaurin. Why the hell are you the Washington Commanders? You finally found the winning formula. You finally found the winning success by drafting a young stud in Jaden Daniels, who's going to be the best quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years. And then you want to trade away, then you won't even want to pay the number one guy that's been there in the trenches for the last 7 seasons. He's put up numerous 1,000 yard plus seasons with awful quarterbacks, awful management, the Dan Snyder era. Do we need to go back to that? Please don't. I don't want to go back there either. The Washington Commanders are a household team now in the NFL. They're a team to be reckoned with. And if you get rid of Terry McLaurin, you can kiss that goodbye. And as much as this pains me to say this, I cannot believe I'm about to say this. If the Washington Commanders get rid of Terry McLaurin, Cowboys actually might have one up on them this year.
They might. That is not a bad take.
And I thought you would like that then off the episode. I could actually see the Dallas Cowboys beating out the Commanders if Terry McLaurin is not re-signed. That is how big of a deal this is.
And that just even further fuels the bet and saying goodbye to all your hair.
Well, they're nowhere near the Eagles, so don't get too excited.
Damn, thought I could pull that one.
They're nowhere near the Eagles, pal. But Nick, what a great episode. So much more to talk about, but of course, Zoom time constraints says otherwise.
We'll be back in person very shortly. Well,
we will be next week, actually. Next week.
Next week, yes. Very excited to be back in person.
Yes. Well, Nick, any final words before I take us out of here?
It's Tuesday. I'm ready for another.
See them glasses one more time.
Here, grab them here.
There we are.
20 days until the college semester starts.
Summer of grind will be ending soon. Autumn of opportunities will be beginning.
You sounded like you just in TikTok yesterday in my recap. I said I sound like Austin now. The summer of grind will turn into the autumn of opportunities. Now, when we get into the winter of, I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
The winter of depression.
Oh, the winter of depression. The winter of wondrous moments. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Winter of wondrous moments.
We'll figure out. We'll think of a better name. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into episode 31 of Steel City Commuters. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned next week because we are bringing on yet again another very special guest. First time ever. Never was even on 2 Jagoff. So this will be his debut within the podcasting sphere. You're not going to want to miss it. We will see you all next week. Peace.